What is going on, beautiful people of planet Earth? My name is Alex, and this is episode 2 of the Vivid Creation Experience. Wait, hold on, I made a much cooler intro thing for that. There it is. This is in fact the Vivid Creation Experience, brought to you by Vivid Creative Studio. In this video, I'm going to show you a behind-the-scenes look at how we sent our cat Ferris into outer space. Why? Because no creative studio had ever attempted it before, and we were determined to be the first. We were moments away from Vivid's historic launch, but there was one problem. We didn't have a rocket. This was a devastating setback for our mission, and we needed a solution fast, so I called the only person I knew that could help us, CEO and Chief Engineer of SpaceX, Elon Musk. I was sure that if he heard our story, he would let us use one of his rockets.
Well, Alex, as much as I love the idea of launching your cat into orbit, it would cost Vivid somewhere in the range of $60 to $70 million to use one of our Falcon 9 rockets.
But it's a reusable rocket, like we would give it right back as soon as we were done with it.
It's actually not that simple.
Well, sure it is. They land themselves. I've seen them do it. It's not rocket science.
It is literally rocket science.
So is that a yes? So it looked like we were going to have to fake it. I went online and found a 3D model of a rocket ship and brought it into Blender. I outfitted the rocket with some sweet Vivid decals and added in some cameras to our scene with a variety of angles. Then I created a platform for the rocket to launch off of. Now back in the real world, I added in the 3D rocket model and masked it behind the three of us to make it look like it was out in the field. Then we flew our 4K drone up into the air, like way up there. And on the way back down, I overlaid the CG rocket on top of the drone footage for some forced perspective movie magic. Then I added in a cool camera overlay for extra effect. Now the rocket needed a little capsule for Ferris to ride in, so I modeled a simple room with a chair backing. I added a little window that I could easily cast light through. I also added a purple ball, which is actually based on a real ball, to float around inside the capsule. Then it was time for Ferris's big break. We set up a green screen and some lights and tried to get his attention. Okay, that'll do. I rotated the footage to the right perspective and keyed him out from the background to use our new CG background. He was understandably confused. But finally, we would go for launch. But it wasn't nearly as cool as it needed to be. Real rockets tend to have a bit more... So I added in some fire and smoke. Using a different camera angle from Blender, we flew our drone back up, pointing the camera down, and I slid the 3D render over top of the real footage, for a sort of mounted camera look. I snapped a picture of the sky and overlaid a different CG angle of the rocket on top. With the addition of some fake camera movement, it looked like a proper video. But we couldn't quite follow the rocket up through the clouds. We were going to need something that could go a little higher, so we used a satellite. Like actually, Google Earth, which apparently got a sick rebrand recently. I found the state park we were in and aligned the image to the perspective of the drone footage, and then I zoomed out and slid the rocket back in. Then I blended the Google Earth footage with the 3D environment I made of the Earth. Actually, let me back up. So I made the entire Earth. Just, casually. I used the old noise texture into a color ramp and the shader editor trick to make a night sky, and then I zoomed and panned around to find the Delaware coast. I guess. And then I played the animation. Now we're in space. But we're missing our pilot. A few clicks and I added Ferris back into the rocket, even adding some camera shake and shaking sound effects to sell a little more. Then I cut the rocket in half. It's called stage separation. Basically the bottom half of the rocket spends all its fuel and it just becomes dead weight. I put the camera inside for a cool reveal shot when the rocket opens up. Then I found a fiery overlay video and masked it to fit the shape of the opening. Put it all together with that cool video screen overlay and left the first stage to burn up in the atmosphere. We reached Earth orbit, so I added in another 3D model I found of a space capsule. On the inside, I made some techie looking panels with glowing buttons and stuff. Now we had to make Ferris float in zero gravity. And he was super cooperative, as always. But there it was, just the shot we needed. Using one of Vivid's original fonts, Jovian Display, available in the font pack on our website, I made a cool sci-fi button for Ferris to press to deploy our satellite. He was very excited for his role in the mission. So taking the green screen footage of his paw and the 3D button from Blender, we successfully released the satellite. For this part I added a cylinder with a lid that could swing open, and rigged the satellite model, that I totally didn't just find online and slap a Vivid logo onto, to open up and float away. I also mounted the camera on the satellite for more perspectives. And then I got slightly carried away with the camera angles because I thought it was super sick. Then Ferris triumphantly floated back to his seat to prepare for the next part of his mission. With the Vivid satellite successfully deployed, he turned his sights to the moon and took off in his capsule. Basically, I dragged the model capsule from one side of the scene to the other, but it looked pretty cool. Then it was just a matter of putting all these pieces together in Adobe Premiere Pro. Video shots, animated shots, CG on the video shots, music, sound effects, post-production, editing, and that was that. We achieved the impossible goal. But such an incredible feat deserved an epic voiceover. So I downloaded a program called Voice.ai that could use artificial intelligence
to transform my voice into a number of different celebrity voices.
And there was one voice I knew would be perfect for kicking off the launch. The one and only
Morgan Freeman. And so I channeled my inner narrator and recorded a short monologue about bravery and progress and all kinds of stuff like that.
So finally, it was done. But I know what you're thinking. Why? Why, some say, launch your cat into space? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why 96 years ago fly the Atlantic?
We choose to send Ferris into space and do the other things, not because it makes sense, but because it's cool.
This project required a very specific set of skills. Storyboarding, writing, filming, animating, green screening, sound design, post-production, artificial intelligence, voiceovering, whatever this is. This mission was a personal test of my abilities. I wanted to put as much as I could into one project and just see what was possible. The launch was a metaphor of sorts. Dreaming the impossible dream and going for it, and achieving it, and just having fun with it. That's what it's all about. So I hope you all enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed making it. Personally, it was a blast. Right? Because of the... Thank you all for watching this episode of the Vivid Creation Experience. As always, for all your digital creative needs, be sure to go to vividcreative.studio for graphic design, brand identity, animations, web design, and so much more. Until next time, take it easy, but take it. Bye, everyone.